Welcome back to this episode of Bearcat Chats. And what a great way to kick off the spring semester with the president of Binghamton University actually making his Bearcat Chats debut, Harvey Stenger, and coming back for a second time is the president of the Student Association, Khaleel James. Harvey, Khaleel, great to see you.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good to see you, Jacob. Thanks for doing this.
Of course.
Sure.
Let's start. You guys are right near this ice skating rink that is opening for the winter. Harvey, what was the genesis behind this idea?
Well, we want to make sure, and Khaleel will confirm this, we want to give students things to do that get them out. And it's winter time. In the fall, we had great weather. People could go out, play Frisbee on the P Squad, do all sorts of activities outside, but it's hard to do things outside when it's 20 degrees out. But you can go ice skating, and there's a certain excitement and feeling of freedom when you're outside in the cold, and you've got some skates on, and you're going around a piece of ice in a circle. But it is fun to think about, and I think it's going to be fun to execute. We've got an ice skating rink.
When it snows, I think that's one of the benefits of our location at Binghamton. Like when we get a lot of snow, usually you see students take some have their actual sleds and some just have top of a bin and they'll go on the hill and slide down. And so I think now we have something where we have over 300 pairs of skis. And so everyone can get an opportunity if they sign up and all that stuff. So I think they'll enjoy it. And it's just a perk, you know.
How did this rink get built, Harvey, or is the imprint already there?
Well, it took a little bit of work. It's going to be on the old Dickinson, it is on the old Dickinson co-rec field, which is between Whitney and Old O'Connor Johnson. And it's a pretty flat surface. We had to do a little bit of leveling of it with some sand. And then a company actually from Syracuse does this for a living. They set up instant pop-up rinks. And they come in with a big set of chillers and a generator, tubing, boards, dashboards, and in about a week, they have it set up. Then they start spraying water on it with a fire hose. They turn on the compressors and the chillers, and you have an ice skating rink. So it takes a little effort, but we thought it would be worth it because we'll probably get about 4 or 5 weeks of skating before it gets too warm to keep it solid. There's lights, so we'll be able to skate at night. I think we're going to have some sound and maybe some DJs, and probably the Starbucks truck will stop by on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That's well placed, Khaleel.
Keep them warm too. They're going to be outside for a while.
And you're a big hockey fan, right, Harvey?
You used to play hockey, no?
I grew up in a hockey town and played a lot of hockey when I grew up, and a little bit of hockey in college. And yes, love hockey, love getting outside. And a rink that doesn't have a roof over it is a little tricky because when it snows, you got to shovel it before you can skate on it. So there'll be some work to do to keep this ice free of snow.
And we're talking, Khaleel, masks, obviously all the COVID precautions that you would naturally take.
Yeah. So last semester, it's the SA for our student organizations that's gonna probably want to have an event there or just invite their peers there. It's the same thing. It's less than 50 or whatever the actual number is that they decide to keep with the rink. It has to be under that number or the exact number, and it's the same guidelines that we used previously. Everyone has to wear a mask. Everybody has to be social distanced, and everybody's there to have fun, but we still want to be cautious.
Have to be cautious, and well, I'm excited to try some triple axels if you'll have me.
Sure.
Been many Winter Olympics.
And Jacob, I think the hours are going to be noon to 8 p.m. every day. There might be the ability to reserve it outside that if a club wants to come with a group of students, but for general skating, it's from noon to 8 p.m.
Great. Well, this is a great way to get things going for the semester. Let's talk about some carryovers from last semester. A lot of folks, it's so unique because usually you come back for the spring semester, everyone's just coming back you move in, there's no frills. This is like a second move in terms of testing for students coming in, Harvey. What is that going to look like compared to the fall?
It'll be very similar. Every student will be tested before they move in. The big difference is the testing will be in Old Union Hall, not the event center. And you'll come into the Old Union Hall through the front door, uh, just like you were for the surveillance testing during the semester. Get swabbed, get tested. Then I think you head upstairs of the Union, get checked in so that you can move into your room. And some students might have taken some stuff home over the break. Khaleel, I think some of your residents might be bringing some stuff back with them. So we have got staff on call to help people with the laundry carts and getting stuff into the rooms if they're bringing back a lot of stuff for this semester. But it'll be kind of a hybrid between a typical spring move-in and our last fall move-in.
One of the good things that we actually did too is like we continued having a span over time, especially with all this snow. Some students might actually have a hard time getting back to Bing. We don't want them rushing up to Bing, and things may happen in the snow. So giving them this span actually helps them plan accordingly and kind of prepare. And we've been giving them a lot of information. Emails. They see it every time they look on their BU brains. So when they confirm their enrollment, they saw all the guidelines that we have too, and then we also have them like giving us their plans on like how they plan on quarantine. Are they returning or they're not? And I think we have a decent amount of students returning, so I still trust our testing. We did well last year, and I think we're going to continue pushing that forward and keeping that Binghamton ahead of the curve tradition.
Testing is increasing, Harvey?
Yes, we are going to be testing upwards of 10,000 people a week.
Wow.
We were testing about 4,000 to 5,000 people per week last semester. So we've added some new lanes, new check-in spots, new testing lanes. And that way we can test everybody who comes to campus regularly, students and faculty and staff, once a week. That's the goal. That's how we've designed it. Once a week, you'll be tested.
And an off-campus student that's taking classes on campus, they're going to get tested, but it's going to be through the saliva swab?
That's correct, Jacob. Yes, we decided to get to 10,000, we needed more supplies and two different kinds of tests. The saliva test will be used for faculty, staff, and for off-campus students, and the nasal swabbing will be done for on-campus students. And then off-campus students, if they're fully remote, they don't have to be tested during the week. They can just stay in their rooms. They do have to, if they're coming, not just for in-person classes, but if they come to campus and they've got a job, or they come to campus because they're on a sports team, then that would consider regular attendance, and they would have to be, they're also then going to be asked to come in once a week to be tested.
And Khaleel, I mean, I think I saw 40% of classes are going to have an in-class component. What has it been like from a student's perspective from the fall and now going into the spring with sort of a mix of remote classes, in-person classes, hybrid classes?
I think I would say Binghamton students have adjusted well, as well as they brought us their concerns, which is why we have our Rejuvenation Days. And so we want them to know that they're heard, and we respect what they're doing, right? That is a tough transition for any person, right? No matter if you're freshman or senior, to just really fully commit to this new way of learning. But like I said, I trust Binghamton students to adapt, and they have done that. And one of the things that they said is that we just need a break, and we heard them, right? So we have a Rejuvenation Day where you just don't do anything on Zoom, or if you want to do on Zoom, it's to your own accord, right? We'll give them programming. They can go to the skating rink, or they could just sleep, right? It's just, and we have the professors and the faculty and staff that kind of know like these days are just supposed to be for everybody, just to breathe. And I think folks are going to take advantage of that for sure.
You
And I
got
appreciate administration for allowing us to actually present those dates to them and getting it done so quick.
Yeah, that was a nice joint effort from both of your constituencies.
But we are still taking care of the students. One of the things that I like is that we're giving them kits. So if a student does, test positive for COVID and they need to be quarantined, we have goodie bags and supplies for them so that they don't need to travel. So it's delivered to them. And Decker is definitely, I think they have about 500 of those bags just ready and to go prior to the semester starting, which I think is them thinking like, again ahead of the curve, and the university is definitely ready to help our students in that way. So that's pretty good.
Harvey and Khaleel, what is the biggest thing that you need students to get on board with? We're in that home stretch. Last couple of months, this semester is going to fly. What do you need them in terms of buy-in? What do you need from them to make this a successful end of the semester, which would cap off what's been, to me, an incredibly successful year amidst the circumstances?
Well, I would say listen to Khaleel.
Well, I would say that for the students, especially because we got to be mindful that yes, we're young. And so I would say it's not about you. And what I mean by that is we're coming to a community that we share, right? So we share that with, of course, our fellow students, our faculty, our staff and administration, but we also share with the local Binghamton community, right? We got people that have families. And so just be mindful of how you're engaging with them, especially just playing it safe with yourself. So that it's like, make sure you're taking care of yourself and everybody else. So that's what I mean by it's not just about you. We are all still in this together. And I would just say, of course, if you feel the symptoms, take your test, wear your mask, and just, play it safe. Again, we're in a home stress. And I think that, we have the equipment and the support to make it through fully.
I could not have said that better. And I will say dittos to Khaleel. That was perfect. I want students to know that we know it's going to be harder because as you get to the finish line, you tend to hurry a little bit. So how we maintain everything that we did really well last semester for this full semester is going to be important.
Well, I think there's a lot to be excited about. Harvey, Khaleel, go lace up the skates. That should be footage that we're looking forward to seeing. Really appreciate the time as always.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
We'll go out and take some video for you.